Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to Plant Reproduction Bingo. And without wasting any over time, let's go directly to our quiz. A plant that completes its life cycle in one growing season. A. Annual. B. Dispersal. C. Germination. D. Fertilization. And the answer is A. Annual. Is the beginning of the growth of seeds, spores, or pollen grains after a period of dormancy. Certain conditions must be available, i.e., water, oxygen, and suitable temperature. A. Annual. B. Dispersal. C. Germination. D. Fertilization. And the answer is C. Germination. The carrying of seed or fruit away from parent plant, necessary to avoid overcrowding, minimize competition, and encourage colonization. This increases the chances of survival of the seed. Agents include wind, water, animal, and self. A. Annual. B. Dispersal. C. Germination. D. Fertilization. And the answer is B. Dispersal. The union of a haploid male gamete nucleus with a haploid female gamete nucleus, resulting in a formation of a diploid zygote. A. Annual. B. Dispersal. C. Germination. D. Fertilization. And the answer is D. Germination. Nutritive tissue found within the embryo sac of seed plant arise from the union of generative nucleus, or what we call a sperm cell, and two polar nuclei to form a triploid endosperm nucleus, 3N. This nucleus divides repeatedly by mitosis and forms the endosperm, which acts as a food store. A. Endosperm. B. Fruit. C. Bulb. D. Ephemera. And the answer is A. Endosperm. Modified bud, swollen, underground, overlapping fresher leaves and reduced stem. For example, onion, tulip. A. Endosperm. B. Fruit. C. Bulb. D. Ephemeral. And the answer is C. Bulb. A mature ripened ovary or modified part of a flower. For example, the receptacle. Usually containing seeds, its role is reproduction and seed dispersal. It is also a source of food for animals. A. Endosperm. B. Fruit. C. Bulb. D. Ephemeral. And the answer is B. Fruit. Plant that produces a number of generations in one growing season. For example, shepherd's purse. A. Endosperm. B. Fruit. C. Bulb. D. Ephemeral. And the answer is D. Ephemeral. Inactive, resting, or non-vegetative state before growth. For example, buds, seeds, and spores. A. Cross-fertilization. B. Dormant. C. Asexual reproduction. D. Flower. And the answer is B. Dormant. Reproductive shoot of plant containing sepals, petals, stamen, and carpel. A. Cross-fertilization. B. Dormant. C. Asexual reproduction. D. Flower. And the answer is D. Flower. This does not involve the manufacture or union of sex cells or gametes. For example, binary fission, fragmentation, spore formation, and budding. It involves only one parent, and the offsprings are genetically identical to or have the same genetic content as par. A. Cross-fertilization. B. Dormant. C. Asexual reproduction. D. Flower. And the answer is C. Asexual reproduction. The union of haploid male and female gametes reproduced by different members of the same species or from a member of a different species. A. Cross-fertilise. B. Dormant. C. Asexual reproduction. D. Flower. And the answer is A. Cross-fertilise. Cotyledons brought above ground. Hypocotyl elongates, for example, sunflower seed, fruit. A. Cutting, B. Epigyre germination. C. Embryo. D. Gametophyte. And the answer is B. Epigyre germination. That part, stage or generation of the life cycle of a plant that produces gametes, usually haploid. A. Cutting. B. Epigyre germination. C. Embryo. D. Gametophyte. And the answer is D. Gametophyte. Immature plant contained in a seed. A. Cutting. B. Epigyre germination. C. Embryo. D. Gametophyte. And the answer is C. Embryo. Sleep removed from a plant and rooted. For example, bezelise or granarium. A. Cutting. B. Epigyre germination. C. Embryo. D. Gametophyte. And the answer is A. Cutting. Dear friends, thank you very much for participating in plant reproduction. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you once again. Bye bye for now. I'm Mugabi.